Let me ask you something. When you come in on Monday and you're not feeling real well, does anyone ever say to you, sounds like someone has a case of the Mondays?
No. No, man. I believe you get your ass kicked saying something like that, man.
And it's cool to like write something, think it sucks for a while.
Next time you meet me in Gate City. Oh, Cody Pope. I know Cody Pope.
I see the shirt. I see it.
Our friend is Cody and we not having a good day.
Smack dab in the middle of all that.
Beautifully said, and I love that you said when you have a microphone, and we were able to do it.
It's about you showing up. What is your favorite comment that contributes to you?
What up, world? Thank you all for tuning in to another installment of CODY Central. Welcome back, welcome home, or welcome for the first time. If it's your first time, please know every night here is just a little bit different. Nevertheless, we're going to have ourselves a wild time. Thank you for sharing your time with us tonight. Let's sit back and lock in. I'm your host, Cody Pope, and this is my co-host, Danny Dimes.
What's up, everyone? As always, if you're tuned in from YouTube, thank you. And please make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment to let us know where you're watching from. And don't be afraid to turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our uploads. And if you're watching on Facebook live stream, thank you as well. And please share this live stream to your page right now or share it to a friend. But either way, drop a comment and let us know where you're coming from as well. Speaking of supporting the show, we're still seeking sponsors to help us elevate the show. And so we'll be back right after this brief clip on more ways you can directly support the program.
Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is go to hellhoundpublishing.com. Go to the menu, go find CODY Central, our show. Then you're going to scroll down and you're going to see a bunch of different donation options. Each one will have some really cool stuff that you get. Go to checkout, tell me what you want me to promote, cash out, simple as that.
Big thank you to our new sponsor, Mocha Pot Comedy in Manchester, New Hampshire.
Let's just start the show with a little bit of honesty. Really need this to go good.
Use code POPE10 for 10% off tickets.
These are just thoughts of mine. I'm not God, you know, I'm not.
See some of the best stand-up comedians right here in New Hampshire.
Sorry.
Use code POPE10 today for 10% off tickets and to support our show. Speaking of supporting the show, before we get things started, I have a bunch of new performance dates that I've just announced. We got tickets available for a ton of them. So right now, you can see me May 29th at New Hampshire Vintage Vinyl. That's actually going to be a free show with DJ Myth and I9. This Saturday, May 30th, I make my return to Boston, Massachusetts for the first time in years at Sugarcane Alley. And I'm going to be rocking with SETI TZU, DJ Myth, and the Notorious Outsiders. June 13th, I'm going to be in my hometown of Nashua, New Hampshire at The Spot with the one and only M-Dot. The next day, June 14th, I'm going to be performing live outside in Renaissance Park in downtown Nashua, New Hampshire. I'm going to be doing an early set from 11:45 a.m. to 1 p.m. So catch me and the Key Holders doing a special show in Nashua. July 3rd, I'm going to be at the hazy little stage at the Bank NH Pavilion with Lil Wayne and 2 Chainz. July 16th, I'm going to be at the Star Bar in Brooklyn, New York with Rhyme Rocka. And July 19th, I'm going to be announcing a huge show soon. So mark your calendars and stay tuned for that. That's all going to be coming up soon. All of my performance dates, pre-sale tickets, merch, music videos, everything that you could possibly want is all going to be at my website that we overhauled last year. Find everything you're looking for at www.cody-pope.com. freestyleclinic.com.
Then I stopped too late. How could I be so selfish? Do this. Lost on interstate, take inventory of dead ends. I miss whom I can't memories of my dead friends. It's my soul on the record, like removing the mask. Brain connected, feel electric, intermeshing spacecrafts. Then I opened up and I looked again, saw the sound like it's the base of my friends. Lost some gems, I'm bound to lose some more.
This got me crawling.
Not perfect, not even close to alright. If you're with me, let me hear you say alright. I'm all about my name, yo.
Hey, big shout out to Jennifer. First comment of the night. I'm doing well, Jennifer. Thank you so much. I hope you're doing well too. Thank you for tuning in tonight. Thank you for rocking with us. We got a special one in store. Our special guest is still on the way. He had to get some technical stuff done, aka get his earbuds and get home and all that stuff. So we're just giving him some time to pull up. I want to send a huge shout out real quick to everybody that came out to Fitchburg this weekend. So I just had my first show in Fitchburg in a number of years. I played Canvas. Canvas is an incredible place. It's going to just keep being even better. Big shout out to everybody over there at Canvas. Big shout out to Showtime and Derek. Big shout out to all the artists that rocked with me. We had Dizzy Disaster. We had Weapon ESP. We had Burn Herm. We had my brother 8 Bizza. It was a really great time out in Fitchburg. I hope I get the chance to go back there soon because that venue was awesome. So big ups to everybody that came out. And of course, Danny pulled up. Danny and Jess drove down from Vermont. So thank you guys for being there too. That was obviously super special to have you guys there as well. Still, didn't sell as well as I hoped I was going to do in that market because I've played Fitchburg a number of times over the years, but I've been really lucky to usually play with locals. And I'm glad that I did it. And I'm hoping that next time I go out there, I'll be able to do even better out in that area because we all had a great time and the show was dope. So
it's a dope venue. I enjoyed the venue. I enjoyed the location. I mean,
yeah,
parking wasn't horrible. And like the venue was like it was like a really like dope little spot. Like I was actually quite impressed. I wasn't expecting to be as big as it was, to be honest.
Yeah, it was set up really well too. Everything was like set up for function.
Yeah, and it was real dope. I wasn't expecting a bar there, and there was. So
yeah, that worked
was a
out.
shocker.
Yo, and the bar was super reasonably priced too. Like I got a beer that was like $5 and it was like a really good IPA.
Shout out to the Chinese food across the street.
Oh, I wish I got that, dude. I was so mad that I didn't get that. I do the same shit every time too, where it's like I don't want to get food before I perform because then I'm gonna feel like shit while I'm up there. But then if I wait till after I perform, then I end up missing out on the food because all the places close early. It's like damned if I do, damned if I don't. Shout out to Jess. Jess was there as well. Thank you for making the time to be there too. Appreciate you pulling up. The venue really was so great. And the artists were awesome. I was lucky that we had such a killer lineup for that. So shout out to everybody that rocked with me. We if you were in last week's episode, we tried to have the whole lineup on the pod, but a couple guys were experiencing technical difficulties, as were we at times. So it ended up being a mostly Dizzy Disaster episode, but it was a really good time. And so big thank you to everybody that came out to that one. That was really dope. And trying to think, that was that was the only gig I had this weekend, and then after that, it was a nice little opportunity to decompress for a bit, and then get ready for this week's run. We got a podcast today, podcast Wednesday, show Friday, show Saturday. So we're getting ready for it. So this weekend was nice. I hung out with the old lady, watched a bunch of movies, just like kicked it around the house. It was a pretty good time. Definitely we'll do some film club adjacent stuff perhaps, and talk about some of the stuff we both watched this weekend. But before we do that, what did you end up doing this weekend after the show on Friday?
Recover from getting sick.
Oh, that's brutal.
That's pretty much my weekend. I actually got up Saturday, headed out, and was trying to grind a little bit, and I just couldn't do it. I was struggling, like trying to run around, drive, get shit for people. I was just struggling. Came home, and I think it was like 17 hours I slept.
Sheesh, that's wild.
And then I woke up and talked to you for a little bit. And then basically I put on a movie, passed out during the movie, woke up many hours later, restarted the movie, fast forward to where I was like, I remember this part, but then I realized there was more that I didn't remember as it played through. But enjoyed the movie, and then I passed back out, and I woke up today and just kind of like relaxed, took a shower, and got ready for for CODY Central. Well, part of film club, doing some edits and stuff, working on that. So
yeah,
but
damn, well, hopefully, real quick, everybody in the comments, drop your advice for remedies for Danny's ailment. Give him some of the non-gross symptoms, and we'll see if our chat can develop the perfect concoction by the end of the episode.
Nah, it's all in my head. It's all in my nose. Straight, drainage, that kind of thing sucks.
Dude, I feel that, man. Well, good news. It looks like we got our guest backstage hanging out, so we can get ready to bring him on board here in a second. So as always, chat, the Q&A is open for as long as we're live tonight. Any questions that you have for our guest or Danny and myself, drop them in the chat. We're going to take our favorite ones. We'll throw them up on screen, and it's going to be a good time. So without further ado, let's get this thing going. For this week's episode, we're fortunate to add to the panel one of Massachusetts' most exciting, endearing, and interesting lyrical talents. You can find him hosting and rapping at the long-prevailing Freestyle Clinic in Cambridge, Massachusetts, as well as rocking with myself and the Notorious Outsiders this Saturday, May 30th at Sugarcane Alley in Boston, Massachusetts. Please welcome to the panel and make some noise for SETI TZU. Oh, we got visual. Now we just need audio. Oh, we lost him.
We died crash.
Looked like he might be on a phone, so maybe that's why. I know the phones can be kind of janky sometimes. All right, we'll see if we get him back.
All right, Reddy's got that Cody Pope 9000 set up.
I know I have gotten pretty cozy to just have this in my house, like
you've gotten quite cozy.
if if you guys have been following the show since the early episodes, I used to drive like 10 minutes to a studio that I rented for a long time. And I loved having a set, of course. I'm not going to lie. It was very cool to be able to have big backdrop and all that. But now it's cool. I get to have all my stuff, you know? Like, even today, it's like I was moving this around. I got to shout out Sheaf Street Books. Like, they gave us these bags, and now they just had to have them in the background. So, you know, it's nice. And I don't got to walk far. When I'm done, I'm home. It's been great. It's going to be hard.
I don't complain about that either.
It's going to be hard to transition to a set again. Let me just check on him and make sure everything's okay. Damn. Well, you guys will hear the intro again if you missed it, so that'll be good.
I still got that beautiful ad you put together, anyways.
Oh, true that. Yeah. You know what? Let's do that while we're waiting for him to come back. I was hoping he would see it, but he'll see it on the internet in due time. If you guys are interested, we're gonna run a little teaser of this weekend's show. And that way, if you guys want to get your tickets to come out and see us in Boston, you can see what that's all about. So check this out real quick. We're going to be back in just 1 minute, okay? We'll be right back, guys.
Ah, Boston, one of the finest cities in the United States.
Can't believe the pickle that they got us. Hotter than some cayenne pepper, iron. Get your iodine, iron lines coming.
Nicer than new neighbors from night to the noon. We never noticed the naysayers. We thinking of a master plan, taking time and we never rush hours like Jackie Chan. They say
in the sun to make up for days that's shrouded in dens. I am the howling man standing upon the howling winds. Night of the hunter, the preacher upon the prowl again. Not perfect, not even close to alright.
All right, guys, let's test this out. Let's get this super chat going. Let's try this take 2 for this week's episode. As I mentioned, we're fortunate to add to the panel tonight one of Massachusetts' most exciting, endearing, and interesting lyrical talents. You can find him hosting and rapping at the long prevailing Freestyle Clinic in Cambridge, Mass. And you can catch him rocking this Saturday, May 30th, with myself and the Notorious Outsiders, May 30th at Sugarcane Alley in Boston, Mass. Please welcome to the panel, SETI TZU. Danny, did you
Peace, everybody.
There we go.
You got my audio?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Let's go.
Dude, thank you for making time to rock with us, bro. How you living?
Happy to. Living pretty good, you know, just working every day, working on music, learning instruments, you know, trying to keep my eye on the ball there and at work and, you know, life, you know. How about yourself?
That, dude, this is long overdue, man. You know, it's been a long time since we've rocked together. We never had the opportunity to just like sit and chop it up more than just a little bit after a show. So I'm stoked that we've started carving out time to do this. Usually when we start the show, a lot of the people that follow the program are obviously like people that have followed the Cody Pope and Hellhound universe and shit like that. So for anybody that's not familiar with you, I kind of just want to build a little bit of background. Could you tell us when, if you remember, kind of like what age you were when you first decided to pursue music, and was that rhyming or was it something else?
I had a Fisher Price microphone that I could talk through with a tiny speaker when I was 4. And you know, I think I always, you know, I come from a line of singers too. So I guess when I really decided like I loved hip hop was I was like 16 years old or 15 years old, and my brother and his friends would freestyle at wherever we were, in the woods or on a corner of someone's party, right? And they were 2 years older than me, so I wanted them to, you know, I wanted to be down with that, and I also just liked freestyle and I got a good reaction from it. So probably like, you know, at this point for me, that was around like the 98, 99, 2002, started doing, you know, like doing some recordings and then releasing them. And it just, we knew a lot of people and they just found them, you know.
So I want to ask you, do you remember what the first concert was that you ever attended?
No, I don't know. Like local or just any?
Just anything, whatever like your first experience with live music was.
I honestly can't, I don't have a very interesting answer for that. Live concerts though. I'm trying to think. I can't really think of my first one. I just always been so much about live music that the large concert scene, I haven't been to a lot of concerts. Except for like, you know, unless you want to call 300 to 500 people, maybe 1,000, you know.
That's dope. So I guess following on that same line, do you have like a, I mean, I guess I probably know your answer, but do you have a preference as to a smaller, like more intimate show versus something at like a Palladium sized venue or something like that? Or does just being in like the live music sphere in general really kind of like fulfill you?
I guess if in terms of smaller, like 50 to 500 person venues, I really like that. 1,000 person venues, there's like a more, I feel like more intimate. I feel a little bit vulnerable, like in you know, high capacity crowds like that, unless there's like strong culture present. And if there's strong culture present and everybody knows why they're at a place, I don't care how many people are there. But if it's something kind of like different, like it's sports night or it's like somebody really famous is coming to town and everyone's going to be there, I don't consider that the same, you know. So probably more intimate venues for me. But I love a grand old hall too, you know.
Right? Yeah. I feel that. It's like, I think I feel more comfortable in like an intimate room, but I like the challenge of tackling a big room and seeing if I can still hone the energy the same way.
Right.
So let me ask you a little bit about, I want to ask you about like your music catalog. Sorry, my cat just walked in the room. So when did you release your first SETI TZU record?
Well, the SETI TZU is like a complete name. This whole name, there, I used to be K9.
Damn, I never knew that. When was that?
So K9 was like, I think I just saw it one day and was like, that's a name. And I did that from probably the year 2002 to like 2009. So a lot of people back then, they just knew me as K9, and I would just, it was my way of keeping up with the competitive state that was hip hop in, you know, the early 2000s, a very competitive state. At that time, still coming off of like that 90s run and all that kind of rap. That's all the rap was. So, what were you?
Oh, well, no, my first thing was just like when you first started releasing music under SETI TZU.
Oh, right. Yeah, so I started releasing music under K9, and I had some singles, and then a little small album in about 2006 that I recorded with DJ Real Drama, who was doing a lot of recording for people in the Boston area. He works pretty close with, I think he records everything Big Show does, and he's pretty legendary. I mean, he's a lot of people's voices have touched his microphones that were from a time that's gone, where now like there's a whole new the audience changes, changes pretty good every 5 or 10 years. So a lot of that audience, but anyway, what happened was I went with SETI because that was already a nickname that people had been calling me since I was like 12 years old. So when I went to that, I went SETI, AKA K9, and dropped like an anthem song. And that was around 2013. Yeah.
Okay.
And the album was called Extraterrestrial. And it was like following up just years of shows and live performances and ciphers and stuff like that. And it did, it did well when we went out like and performed it. We had a lot of people interested in coming out, just to see us perform, me and a hype man and maybe a DJ or a drummer or something. So I transitioned into SETI around then, and then the name ZU, that translates, to master. So anybody can be Master ZU or Zuzu or Cody ZU,
That's dope, because I think we first met around like 2014 or 2015. So that was just shortly after you had kind of decided to make that transition.
Right, just to go full on SETI. Yeah. By that time, that's
dope. You seemed very comfortable at that point. So I would have thought that was just how you had been rocking since you were younger.
Right.
But that's cool how that kind of transitioned for you like that.
Yeah.
On that same tip, do you obviously as artists, we love our catalogs and our body of work all kind of represent specific chapters of our life and whatnot. But is there any like one record, whether it's like an album or an EP or just even a single, is there something in your catalog that holds more sentimental value to you?
I have live shows from like 2002 and 4, and I'm like, I would never do it this way again. I might not say the things I'm saying, but it's like a journal. I like going back to it, and it might be even cringy. I mean, we had fun and people liked it, but now when I listen to it, I'm like, wow, you're really high pitched, or something like that, some critique. But I find sentimental value in just having, a lot of old recordings. I would say some of the songs really, because the songs on the albums, well, on Extraterrestrial, it's a lot about like again, all the people that I was around at that time or that had been in my life, but in a way that's relatable. So I'm not identifying anyone specifically, but the stories I tell are about them, and the stories I like to, when I go off grid rap and I'm not really trying to tell a story, I tend to lean on like the pressures of society and things that I can, pull up with a lot of wise assery about. And just that's kind of my way of like, getting some relief, like I can talk about it in rap, and there are things you can talk about in rap you really can't talk about sometimes to people, but you can always make your point in rhyme form and, just be accepted about that, so pretty much every song is like a journal to me. Every scrap of paper I ever saved in my life, I got a ton of them. And I'm just like, I remember sitting at the desk writing this, or the first time I rapped this was on a corner and then I made it a track later. Yeah.
So I want to say almost the whole time I've known you, I've always closely tied you with the Freestyle Clinic. Like you had introduced it to me. You were always like the main proponent behind it. That has been a big community vehicle for you through the years. A lot of people that I found at different shows that I thought were dope MCs were like, "Oh, well, I'm at the Freestyle Clinic and da 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 da."
Wow.
And so, to me, I feel like that has always been like indicative of who you are as a person. And so I'm interested to know, when did the Freestyle Clinic actually start? Like, when did you kind of put pen to paper on that, so to speak?
Yeah, I can tell you the first one was on November 24th in 2012. And what had happened was, probably not long before that, there was an event. We were at an event in the garage in Harvard Square. There was a venue up there. It was like a pipe shop, and they sold CDs and spray paint cans and stuff. I forget what it was called.
Was it the Proletariat?
I don't know, Jungle? No, it wasn't Jungle. Cultures.
Oh, okay. I remember that.
It's called Cultures. And Justice Bourne from Rec Shop was having ciphers there where you could freestyle. And so if it's 2012, then I'm coming off of like maybe 14 years of dabbling in freestyle. But what it was a thing. Like, when you got into a cipher wherever you got into it, we didn't have ciphers. You had to pay a police detail to have a hip hop show in Malden or Everett. You had to give them $125 to stick around for the night. And that was in like 2006. So in 2002, there were no platforms hosting ciphers and stuff like that. You just had to be at a party, and we would stand on chairs and battle each other. Because again, it was a state of competition in hip hop, from at least where I was exposed. And other times you just be like, a friend would beatbox, and everybody has their hands up in the room, and they're just so excited to see someone freestyle. Or, I always had like routines, to pull out. So, that's how we would get into it back then. But there were no cipher platforms. So we were at a cipher, and we noticed that. So when I say we, I mean like a lot of people from Rec Shop, like specifically SDNAC, and anyone that would have been around, like Relentless was around. And it's funny because a lot of MCs and producers, they just kind of have gone underground a little bit more, which is cool. Life goes on. But any one of those people, we were sitting around having a conversation. We were like, people aren't freestyling anymore. So it was kind of a shock for us. And it was SDNAC who was like, why don't we just do a little freestyle clinic? He's like, between sandwich bites. And I'm like, that's a good idea. I was like, we'll call all the people we know that are like really sick. Because at the time, you had to reach out to people. We were working off MySpace and pagers, probably still, intro cell phones. And he was like, no, just invite whoever you want. And that I was like, what? He's setting off bells in my head. Like, you want to invite anyone I want to the cipher? Because we were having it in a warehouse in a little cement room that was probably like 25 by 15 feet. But it was cluttered with records and chairs and couches, and you just go in there and do whatever we wanted and rap all night long. So to have Esty suggest like, nah, just whoever comes, just don't promote it really, but whoever shows up, let them in. And I was like, okay. And I'm like, where are we gonna do it? He goes, isn't your friend Frank having a Monday night thing over in Everett at the Spaces? Because we had some studio spaces there, but I kept them pretty much like tightly under wraps. We didn't have anybody over there. It was a warehouse. And then I said, I'll ask Frank. So I asked Frank, and he said the same thing Esty said. I said, I'll call some people. He goes, no, don't call anybody. Let's just see who comes. And it was like a vortex. People would just show up. It started with SDNAC and like a lot of his crew from Lynn, and from maybe some people I knew from Malden and Cambridge. And that's how it started. But, it just went on and on and on every Monday for years.
How have you continued?
Oh, no, sorry. What were you saying, Danny?
I was just wondering, after all these years, how have you been able to continue to sustain it over all these years?
Oh my God, that's a good question. So what happened was I did 383 Monday nights in a row. All right, so it went from going to ciphers with Rec Shop. It went from going to ciphers with Rec Shop and being on Paris Street and in the subway. Like, the culture at the time owed a lot of credit to Justice Bourne, and he still things he did are paying off today. But it went from that to we should do our own thing to maybe 2 years into it, I looked at Frank. So Frank had a studio, right? And I had a studio 2 doors down, but his studio had 4 turntables and 10,000 records. And he was willing to open it up to the people. My studio was more like, it's a little, it's clean, we don't drink or smoke in here, right? So, we took it down the hall. But 2 years into it, I looked at him, I go, Frank, I don't know, man, I think I want to do some different things, And he was like, he just looked over at me and went, don't leave me with this. And then he just went back to DJing, and I was like, okay. So we went from 2012 to 2019. We did 383 Freestyle Clinic Mondays in a row without a single miss for any reason. No blizzard, no death in the family, no vacation. And the way you do it is first you need a space. And if you want to really guarantee success for an event, then you shouldn't be dependent on alcohol sales, because any venue that's tying you to alcohol sales is eventually going to see a better, a smarter business move, right? So you need a space, and then you need somebody that's going to be there that day, because that's just what they like to do. And that's where I got really fortunate with Frank, because Frank was already doing Monday nights, and he just liked to have a place for people to show up with a 40-ounce of private stock. They don't make them anymore, but just show up with that and just come and blow off some steam. And when you went in the room, and Frank has this real like kind of calm presence, what's up, cool, and it would just spread. So you had somebody with that kind of intention, hosting it. And if your intention is just to have people over so they can blow off steam, then freestyling fits right in that. And we love rap, and that's what we used to do in his bedroom. So he was doing it at a studio, and then we would just do it there every week because he was going to be there. So that's how you would get success for an event. The people you're doing it with have to want to be there every week. Like, they love it, they would never miss it. And that at least would guarantee you, in having your own space, I guess, or a space where the people really want to work with you.
When it comes to the New England hip hop community, you've obviously kind of seen the ebbs and flows and seen it kind of grow and get nurtured at times. What do you feel like makes the New England hip hop community stand out most compared to other markets that some New England people may end up going to?
Well, there's no lack for talent. And there are spaces in and around the city where like music just exists. And it might be because there's a music complex near there. And so it's just like Alston, Brighton, they're just funneling out musicians every year. So it's like a epicenter for music. And I think that makes us at least a standout location. I mean, I think Massachusetts, we have the people here really care a lot. They care about how they're perceived in rap and how their product holds up. And so, there's just a lot of talent. I think that's really why we stand out here. I think we have a lot of talent. There's so many talented people.
Huge.
And then once you think I've seen a lot of hip hop shows. I've been seeing hip hop shows for 10 years, and it's like 2012. Then all of a sudden you just come across a whole new vein of people doing their own thing that don't know anybody
I like that. What do you feel needs to improve in order to contribute to the New England hip hop scene having sustainable growth?
Well, I always think more people should try their hand at putting events together, and even like regular weekly events, even if it's just for a few months. That would really kick things into another gear. I mean, people need a place to try stuff. There are a lot of people just living living out their musical motivations just online. But getting out and getting into a little place and seeing people that like to show up every Tuesday or Thursday or Saturday is really has a really powerful impact on the community and the whole society. Because if people are having a better experience in their life, then you're having a better experience with them when they leave places like that. So yeah, if everybody just like put their hand in through more shows, I think that would improve things. And then you got the issue is just having people in a venue that want to take care of you and want to wait for that thing to grow, whether it's monthly or weekly. But it's really popping off right now. There's a lot of stuff popping right now.
Yeah, there was like a crazy time in the like New England network when there was like almost a different residency every night of the week, and people could tour for a couple weeks just going through New England, you know, between.
It's like this right now. It's back.
You
But
feel
I
like
don't
it's
remember it
back?
ever being, yeah, but I don't remember it ever being so much fun and so open. And it's really back right now, but it depends what you do, you know, and it depends how different you are as a rap personality. You know, see, this is why, like, we used to be like strictly freestyle at the Freestyle Clinic. But aside from exercises that hey, we're going to start with a chorus and end with a chorus. Hey, we're going to count bars tonight. We're going to do 4 bars, 8 bars pass. All right, now it's 2 bars pass. Besides that kind of stuff, there were no writtens allowed. And we had every way from dramatic to very passive as years went on of how to stop the writtens from being spitting. It's the one rule. I mean, you come in there and do everything, but just don't, right?
Yeah, it's
so
in the
anyway,
name.
Yeah, but it was serious because when I first started rapping, it was so serious. Like you'd get your mic yanked right out of your hand, and then as time went on, you know, it just wasn't that serious anymore, and it kind of opened the door. So with the Freestyle Clinic, when I took it to the Middle East, I said, let's definitely embrace writtens and routines because I want to see how that plays off of people that are in the setting, whoever they are. I want you to see how that plays off, whether or not you matched up to what the person was doing before you, or if you could do a chorus and transition into this thing that you prepared. That's so cool. And when you take that now, instead of just being a good freestyle, you're good at using the work that because when you write something, you know, and you spit it, it's different. You spit it, it's different live, and you might stumble up and be like, geez, I guess I didn't know it that well. So that can be a real kick in the head for somebody that now they're going to know their stuff more well, you know, and get out there and just be in more ciphers or live events. So, but there's a lot of live events. What I was saying was like, it's more like a musician's playground right now. But if you have the charisma and the vocals, it doesn't matter if you want to rap or sing or beatbox, like they're open now. Before it was like, whatever, it was just different. But now, since lockdowns were lifted and we haven't had COVID for a few years, things are starting to pick up steam finally. It took about, you know, it's like a reset, like a total reset.
What are some of your favorite spots? Because obviously the Middle East is dope, and I love that you have taken the clinic there. I think that's an awesome atmosphere to cultivate that in. What are some of your other like favorite spots that you've been hitting up since the world has kind of opened up again?
Well, there's a nice room in Davis Square, and it might be Davis Square Theater, but it's not the big theater in the center of the square. It's like a speakeasy door. You go down 20 stairs that are marble and down a long black hallway with gold paint trim. And then there's like a black room with 3 rows of seats. And it's a beautiful place worth supporting. I think they would make a deal with anybody that would pre-sale tickets and, you know, have something happen there. It's beautiful. So I would say that place, the Davis Square Theater. What else is there? Well, Jungle lets everybody do everything, so you got to give it up for the Jungle in Somerville. There are some other clubs around there, but I guess I'm not too familiar with what clubs are doing stuff, but I could tell you where like jam sessions are happening, you know.
That's
dope. You
dope.
know what's a nice place? The Cantab.
Oh yeah, dude, I've been wanting to rock there.
And every room at the Middle East is cool, but I like the 2 rooms in the front on the street. The Zuzu and the corner room we do the clinic in. I like those 2 rooms, you know. I would rather like fill up Zuzu or the corner room with 60 to 80 people and have like a nice packed small room, you know, than try to like fill the other room, which is like 200 and 150 looks thin. And, you know, it's just a whole different thing. I like being on the ground with the equipment and everything, just like control, you know. So Cantab, I mean, Lizard Lounge, they got a little band that plays. And they have other nights. So there are just the cool clubs are the ones hosting anything from like jam sessions or karaoke, especially if you can join. Oh my God, have you been to Electric Haze? You must have.
Yeah, Electric Haze is dope.
Nothing.
I did something with Big Shug and something with Capadonna there like years ago.
Yeah, it's a beautiful venue. So on Wednesday nights they have like band sign up.
Damn.
And it's 20-minute sessions, and it's so awesome. And I'm going to tell you, it was like the most fun I ever had as a vocalist. You just go in there. It's a Wednesday night. That's a great night, right? But I'll drive out the hour, and I sign up for a 20-minute slot or a 15-minute slot. And it's just me and the group. And like, I used to work with guitar players. If you're a hip hop artist and you work with like a guitar player, it's so easy because they throw riffs at you and you're throwing rhymes and singing. And, you know, I guess I have more experience with the band. So I can kick it with the band and be like, hey, I'm going to kick it and you guys just come in. Or I can be like, I'm going to count off a metronome and you play whatever you want, you know, or I'll just be like, you do whatever you want and I'll join in. Those are the three ways that I work with a band. So for me, it's like, it's awesome to just be able to step up and work with a band, and anybody can do it. They practice a little piece and the tempo is right, you know, so give it up for Electric Haze too. I'm not going to lie. I tried to do one in the area in Somerville. I wanted to have people come out and join us, a band open mic sign up, right? And maybe have karaoke songs between the band sets. But I think I was working with a venue I won't name that doesn't have a great name. I mean, they don't even have a name on the building. Like people were calling me up like, there's no name, we left. Yeah, and it's in the heart of Davis and it's awesome. But, you know, it didn't really work out. There were some people, so it was hope for that. But like, the thing is, you have to have again, you need a venue where someone's going to like take care of you, and whatever deal, any deal is fair if you're not paying, you know, it's great. It's really hard to build something and have to pay.
Yeah.
You know, so
feel that.
Lots and lots of stuff though. There's a lot of like little jam bands that are working like 2 or 3 nights a week, or places like the Cantab has jams 7 nights a week. Pretty sure like 4 of those nights you can join them.
That's sick. That would be so fun.
Go rap or sing Cupid, bend back your bow, you know, or whatever they're singing that night. But a lot of times with those oldies or something like that, or even like R&B songs or anything, even if you had like a popular new song, it's cool to like throw out a chorus and then drop one of your own like little bits of rhyme. Especially if people aren't expecting it in a crowd like at a jam session.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
People love a rapper with a live band.
Yeah. It's exciting.
Key holders.
Do you have a favorite venue that you've ever had the chance to perform at before?
I think no, not exactly a favorite one. I just like the feeling, you know. Opus was really cool in Salem when Rock Shop was doing a lot of Opus shows.
Yeah.
But I've been to a lot of places. I mean, I really can't remember. They were all small clubs anyway, you know. But we had a great place in Malden called V's. Doesn't matter. They've been gone for years. Have you ever been to Western Front?
Yeah, dude. I remember they used to have a
Front?
ton of like hardcore and punk shows there back in the day.
They just gave everybody a show, just like Jungle. Jungle will do a punk show. It's, you know, there's always at least one place around, but you know, what if there's not? People have to use the places, you know. So favorite venues, I mean, I just like, you know, I'm just glad the classics are around. You know, venues are difficult. Venues can be difficult to work with. I don't never really had a favorite one, you know. They could be really hard to deal with. They want to pick your friends up and carry them out, you know, maybe instead of just being like, hey, chill, you know, or whatever. I'm a good diffuser. So like I said, if there's culture present, there's safety present. That's all you need. Why is everyone here? If they know you're good and you're safe. It's when nobody really knows why they're there, that they're not, and they need security. So it's complicated with venues. You know, they need you guys to drink. I'd rather you didn't. I want my friends to be healthy. You know,
Can dig that.
we got to look at spaces where they're, you know, somebody got to open like a smoothie bar. I think that would go over really well right now. You don't have to do granola and stuff. Like, you still do French fries and other things, but have some options, you know.
Yeah, dude, there's
Instead
a
of
non-alcoholic bar in Nashua. We do shows there sometimes, and we host a podcast every Wednesday live from their spot. It's called The Spot, and it's like a non-alcoholic night lounge. They have live music multiple nights a week. They do like mocktails, coffee, kava. Like, it's like a dope spot to hang out.
That's
And
some
you're right,
coffee.
like, you don't have to like get drunk to have a good time there.
No, and you don't have to sell beer to sell drinks. Anywhere people are listening to music, they're going to buy whatever drinks you have. But you have drinks that are good. Like, you can't really get coffee at a bar. Let's say you just want a coffee.
Yeah.
They're missing the boat on cups of coffee because they don't think people will pay $8, but they will at the bar. We're used to shoveling out a 10 spot at least for whatever we're getting now. So, you know, it's time for venues to step up. There's one in Boston, actually. There's like an all natural, some kind of like, I think exactly what I'm talking about. They just have healthy options and they have an entertainment license.
That's pretty
Whatever
rad.
you can sell. Whatever you can sell, you know. The Budweiser days are over. The Bud Light commercials are over. We don't care anymore.
Yeah, you got more and more people are opting not to drink these days. And so why not build spaces that are conducive for those people to come and socialize and spend money at? Like,
yeah, because they can make money. They just have to know, like, okay, well, these people aren't vegetarians necessarily. They just don't want to get drunk and feel like shit tomorrow. So, and even mocktails, I don't know about that stuff. I don't know if they're just sugar bombs or not, but, you know, simple stuff would be nice. Life Alive is going to have to get an entertainment license.
that would be so crazy.
Right? Places like that would work with musicians, especially if they have a music space. They don't, you know, you just got to talk to the right person. We'll find the spaces someday.
Right.
I'm more focused on getting back to releasing music. You know.
Well, that's like the perfect segue to my closing question, which is, for whether it's yourself personally, yourself as an artist, for the clinic, whatever it is, do you have any goals that you're hoping to work towards and attain before the end of the year?
Yes. My goal is I want to see everybody create something and step outside of themselves, be places, you know, enjoy themselves. And that's what I want for myself too. I want to pull out my inner creative self. I want to start sharing it more and putting out music. You know, I have a different idea about music now. The things I'm going to perform are like my transition from hip hop into what else I do, but I'm still like hip hop. You know what I mean? I'm still hip hop.
Nice. I'm excited, man. It's been a long time, dude. I'm excited to hear everything that you're bringing to the table. I'm excited to see all the shit that you're cooking up this year. Before we head out, is there anything that you want to say to people before we cut away, or is there any place that you want to send people, a website, anything like that, anything you got going on? The floor is yours to speak to whoever.
I just want to say we're in a new world, and it's always changing, and it just doesn't stop getting newer. But I feel, you know, the openness and the connectivity that's out here. And for me, I just want to contribute to that in more ways, like learning instruments, which I'm in the middle of doing. And, you know, I always like to sing a little bit and to rap and tell stories. And I'd like to see some people that are around, you know, come out to the show on Saturday. And so we can catch up, you know, and you can get a little dose of SETI TZU and what's new.
Hell yeah, I love that, man. Thank you so much for making time to kick it with us tonight. I feel like I could ask you a million questions, so we might have to do a part 2 when you got some new music coming out soon. But
That'd be great.
yeah, anytime you want to come on, dude, don't hesitate to send me the bat signal. Appreciate you making
Yeah,
time
you
to
got
rock
it. Maybe we
with us
can listen to
tonight.
some music and stuff. Get some comment reaction.
Yes,
That'd be fun.
dude. We're down. That would be awesome.
Oh yeah.
That'd be fun. So, all right. Thank you so much for having me on, and I'll see you both soon, or at least one of you.
Yeah, no,
Absolutely.
you'll see us
See you
both.
soon.
Oh, yeah, I'll see you both. No doubt.
See you soon.
No
Cheers,
doubt. Good night.
man. Yo, big up to SETI TZU for rocking with us tonight. I'm so excited that we're going to be rocking together this Saturday, May 30th, down in Boston at Sugarcane Alley. And you know what? Just so I can help get the word out there, and I want you guys to get tickets if you can. This is my first time back in Boston in a long time. And so we obviously want to make waves and show people that they want us there. So if you can, please get your pre-sale ticket today. Pre-sale tickets are going to be cheaper than getting them at the door. We got a really awesome, really specially curated lineup for this show. So I'm going to run this clip for you guys real quick before we get out of here one time. And I hope to see you guys there this weekend.
Boston, one of the finest cities in the United States.
Can't believe the pickle that they got us. Hotter than some cayenne pepper, iron. Get your iodine, iron lines coming.
Nicer than new neighbors from night to the noon. We never noticed the naysayers. We thinking of a master plan, taking time and we never rush hours like Jackie Chan. They say
In the sun to make up for days that's shrouded in dens. I am the howling man standing upon the howling winds. Night of the hunter, the preacher upon the prowl again. Not perfect, not even close to alright.
All right, guys. If you guys are seeing it, please get your tickets. Let's make this show special. It's a small room. It's my first time back in Boston in a long time. We got an awesome lineup. We got SETI TZU, and we also have Notorious Outsiders as well. It's going to be and we got DJ Myth, of course, too. I got 2 shows with DJ Myth this week. I'm so lucky. Friday night, you can catch us doing a free show in Laconia, New Hampshire at New Hampshire Vintage Vinyl. And then Saturday, you can catch my return in Boston at Sugarcane Alley. DJ Myth's going to be there rocking for both of them. I'm so stoked. But yeah, this has been a fun one, man. We got a lot of good stuff coming up. New episode of Film Club is dropping tomorrow. Make sure you guys check that out. We watched The Flintstones from 1994 with John Goodman last week, and we had a blast. We had a blast, and if you guys watched the Godzilla episode, I think it's safe to say we all agreed a lot more on the Flintstones than we did on Godzilla. Still don't understand how Godzilla didn't get an Oscar, but I guess we'll just have to keep it moving. But yeah, so we got some fun ones coming out. We got another dope episode this week live. So if you guys are in the area, come to Hellhound Film Club live Wednesday nights, where we screen a free movie and follow it up with the podcast recording. So you right there, you can be on the podcast and have your voice heard about whatever movie we're watching this week, which you guys will find out tomorrow. And
they should come down this week anyways, because it's a movie you have not seen.
Yeah, that's true. So this will be episode 21, I think. And this is the first one that I haven't seen. So my research that I'm doing has to be very sparse to prep for the episode. But I'm excited to really finally get through to this one. I even saw, I think I was telling you that I saw the 4K disc of this on Amazon, and I was like, oh, I really want to buy it, but if I get it, I know I'm going to watch it before we watch it live. And I just couldn't do that.
Well, you want me to curate this week's? So that way you don't have to do a lot of research, so that way you can be surprised.
No, it'll be pretty, I think it'll be pretty easy, luckily. Damn, shout out to everybody that's showing up at the end of the episode after our interview was done. I just saw the numbers jump up there for a bit. All right. Well, this was a fun one, man. Big shout out to SETI TZU for jumping in. Like we said, you can see him rocking with me and Notorious Outsiders this Saturday in Boston. Please go get your tickets to that now. If you go to www.cody-pope.com, you can see the show. Just click Get Tickets. It'll bring you to the link. That would obviously help me out tremendously. We want to make a good impression and be invited back to Boston sooner than later. And yeah, other than that, this has been a fun one. Thank you to everybody that tuned in and hung out. I apologize that the stream on the Cody Pope Facebook page was not active today. Couldn't tell you what's wrong with that, but it crashed before we went live and it wouldn't let me fix it. So if you were on Hellhound Facebook or Hellhound YouTube, thank you for rocking with us tonight. It was a great time. We forgot to turn on our fucking poll, but like we said, you guys, please go get your tickets. I know it's annoying to always hear me talk about it, but all these places that put on shows, they give us opportunities by our ability to sell tickets. It's just pretty human nature. So if you're going to go to the show, buy a ticket ahead of time. It's going to save you money. It's going to make me look better. And it's going to ensure that we have a great time. And yeah, that's it for me. Danny, you got anything for the people before we get out of here?
Not off the top of my head, man. Well, my head's also stuffy, so it's probably not running very well right now.
Valid.
Nah, man. I'm looking forward to Funstones tomorrow getting dropped, and then people coming and hanging out with us on Wednesday.
Make sure you guys join the Patreon so Danny can get some cold medicine before Wednesday. It's the only way we can survive.
Yeah, we'll be putting that NyQuil down here.
For real.
I can get my day going tomorrow, my man. For sure.
Man, I almost wanted to hold out, but I gotta say, I think this is the first episode that Ryan wasn't here for.
I realized it, and I was leaving it alone, but man could be working, man could be grinding, man could be doing his thing, you know?
We just gotta mark it in history. That's 64 episodes in a row, pretty much, if I recall correctly.
Wow. That's wild.
Ryan, just know you are sorely missed.
Absolutely.
We look forward to seeing the rise and success of Granite State Ramen. And speaking of Granite State Ramen, I am starving, so we are going to call it a night. Until next time, much love, guys.
Cody Central is written and produced by Cody Pope for Hellhound Publishing. If you'd like to sponsor the program and have your brand, podcast, or service featured, learn more about that today at www.hellhoundpublishing.com/Cody-Central. Additional ways to support the program include purchasing music, joining our Patreon for exclusive content, or simply donating at any of the links available in the QR codes above.
I certainly feel sorry for you.